Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Yeah, hope you guys are good. Whoa, what an interesting day, right? Whew. I slept through most of the day, actually. Well, I slept through the evening time. I think I finally got to sleep around 1, and I woke up at, it was 8:40. Oh, shit, I got a show to do. So I got more sleep than I have been, and I'll take that. But man, I just slept through the whole damn day. We had lots of Supreme Court cases that dropped today, and I bring that up because I saw Nope in chat said that the ruling in the Indian case out there in Oklahoma is a lot more benign than the press has made it seem. From what I've seen, it's a lot more complicated than the press makes it seem, because the press has been really playing up the it's only for criminal charges part. Now, it is only for members of the tribe that the criminal charge thing. What it is that the state can't criminally charge a member of the tribe who's enrolled in the tribe if their crime was committed on their tribal lands. And in this case, it was an Indian who raped a 4-year-old little girl. And so his conviction is overturned now. He's a free man. Now, the federal government can go after him, and the tribal government can go after him. But as of right now, he's a free man. But that's not all it said. That is absolutely not all that it said. If you read the entire thing, with their explanation for why they came to that ruling, the dissent is absolutely correct in that they just gave half of the state to the Indians in a manner that wasn't supposed to be done. They talk a lot about the allotment era. This was a pretty sneaky way to try to get the Indians to give up their land. Oh shit, I forgot to plug in let's plug in my headphones. You guys just heard the ding that I'm supposed to hear when I get a super chat or a Streamlabs. And I got a Streamlabs which says, I can't stay and watch. I have to sleep and catch up all the monkeys I've missed. That 4-hour stream really set me back. Happy National Kitten Day, everybody. Thank you so much, tall person. That's very kind. Zan Wild, thank you. Okay, I watched both ads. Never said I did nothing, or never say I did nothing. Thank you so much. It's kind of you. But anyway, with the allotment era, what they wanted the tribes to do is to take their tribal land and give it to each of the Indians. Break it up so that everybody had a little parcel. And then the plan was for the Indians to slowly give up that land through sale or just leaving it. And a lot of it was sold. But the court has decided that because of the wording of the treaties, that even though that sand was there, a lot of that land was sold to Americans, it doesn't matter. It's still theirs. And it's kind of like this. If you live in Texas and you bought land in Louisiana, you can't then claim that land is part of Texas. See what I'm saying? So that's kind of the thinking the court went with there. But it does. It pretty much just hands to the natives most of Tulsa. It belongs to them, and they can do with it what they want. Thank you, Corey, who says, here's more money than those 2 ads will ever give you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You just gave Susan more money than those ads will ever give me. Yeah. But I do appreciate those who watch, because believe it or not, that's how we get paid. Guys, you have to watch the ads and then watch the videos. And I didn't know this, but according to YouTube, you have to watch the full ad and the full video. That's what they said on Twitter. I'm like, damn. So anyway, we had that decision. There was another decision that I haven't even heard about, and I didn't read it. I didn't get time. I was so tired, and after the stream, the after party stream, I went and I read the Indian decision, and oh my God, good God. it is so long and boring. It is ridiculously oversighted, to the point of repetition. They just keep repeating the same thing, and part after part after part of this decision, much of it having nothing to do with what they're actually talking about. Anyhow, so the other two major decisions today involved Donald Trump's taxes, you guys. Those two rulings finally came down. In the case of the Southern District of New York, Donald Trump has no right to withhold his taxes from the Southern District of New York attorney, which is going to make the push to kick that guy out and get somebody else in there really interesting. Real interesting. The other case was Congress trying to get Donald Trump's taxes, and I didn't read any part of that, or I only read very little bit of that one, because I did read they remanded it back to the lower courts for not giving enough weight to the separation of powers between the Congress and the president. So that's not really settled. It's just Trump still doesn't have to give his taxes to Congress. So there you go. You're caught up on your Supreme Court fuckery for the day. The Southern District of New York is the one that I didn't read any part of. I just saw the summary of it, and yeah, he's got to give him over. There's what they say, no legal justification for why he shouldn't have to turn him over. Thank you, Rodline. From what I read, it doesn't give them actual land. It's just about jurisdiction, and it doesn't affect non-natives. Is that what you got out of it? No, it's not at all what I got out of it. It doesn't affect non-natives, yes, but that's going to be debatable. But as for the land itself, they go to deep lengths to say that land still belongs to the Indians. Repeated lengths to say that land still belongs to the Indians. And if it does, well, we didn't talk about this. So let's any Indian who has been convicted in Oklahoma for a crime that was committed on these lands, it has to be overturned. As long as they were a member of the tribe when it happened. As long as they were an actual member of one of the Indian tribes. The case itself involved the Creek Indians, but with the ruling, there are other tribal lands in there that still have people from the tribe living on it. And as long as that's true, then the land belongs to them. That's what they were saying. They went to great lengths to show that this land still belongs to them. Yeah, this was a weird decision. A very weird decision, especially because with the allotment plan, it was specifically so the U.S. would eventually end up with the land. And they've come in and go, no, that's that you can't just take the land by buying it. So, Did you hear Democrats want to give non-citizens the right to vote in federal elections? I didn't, but I'm not shocked. I'm also curious if, like the Creek Indians, I mean, this is their land. If Mexicans make it there and they say, okay, you're part of our tribe, what happens? I guess the feds can still come in. Can you give me a link? Or yeah, I can give you one so you can drop a link. But just so you know, you're dropping me an article and I read the case. So I go by what the Supreme Court said. Now, with the dissension of this, or with the dissent, Roberts was pissed. His dissent, that is the most pissy I've seen him in a dissent. He wants me to read. Gotcha. Fair enough. Did you guys read the case? Or, because seriously, you can't, when it comes to the Supreme Court, you cannot go by articles you read. I'm telling you guys, these shitheads who glance over it or hear what somebody else said and write an article about it. I'm telling you. Who was it that wrote the opinion? Gorsuch, I think. Was it Gorsuch? I can't remember. Was what the fact that this one went 5-4 was like, Jesus, you got, and it wasn't Roberts. It was on the liberal side. I'm like, what the fuck happened here? It was just so weird. Such a weird case. And yeah. Oh, I haven't read the treaties, so I guess I got to go back and read the treaties to see, because they're all listed in there. So I have to go read the 1901 and the 1906 treaties, because those are the ones that are talked about the most in the case itself. And yeah, it's really pretty interesting how they came to this, because it's this is a new kind of precedent, man. I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole bunch of weirdness to come out of this one. But should we talk about the title? Should we watch a video, you guys? Do I have the video up? You know, I kept an article that we're going to talk about later up. Who wants to take bets on whether or not I accidentally close it? I'm betting I will accidentally close it, because that's what I do. I don't like to have too many tabs open, and I get that from Lady Monkey. Lady Monkey is all about having a clean desktop and a clean computer, and she doesn't like yell at me for it or anything. Just her doing it and her talking about it. It's just like, okay, I got to keep this clean. So I don't like to have a whole bunch of shit open at the top. All right. Our resident donkey girl, she's got a plan, you guys. She's got a plan. And her plan, and I'm not making this up, is to have no plan. Her plan is to have no plan.
And we can disagree about the details of it, but we can't go back. And
she's talking about policing, guys.
This conversation, you know, figuring out that path forward, as much as we want policy to be, I'm going to propose it, I'm going to have all of the answers and put a neat little bow, and we're going to pass this one law once and everything is going to be fixed. That's how we wish all of this stuff works.
She's telling us she doesn't actually have a plan, which I guess means she's not the boss anymore. Because remember, guys, as long as you have a plan, you're the boss.
But what it really is going to take is experimentation, and to ask, what if? And to even pass laws in the spirit of that experimentation as well.
We have to experiment, you guys. We have to experiment with policing. We can't go back. Going back would be having police. There's been a huge spike in crime in New York City. And Cuomo himself came out and attributed it to the way the police are being treated, the way the district attorneys are not going after people who are being violent criminals during protests, actual rioters, and of course the release of criminals from Rikers Island. He said it, not me. That's not me giving some right-wing talking point. That was what fucking Cuomo himself said. Yes, he said if 13% of them are being put back in jail, then yeah, that's probably part of the problem. Oops. But anyway, so we got to get rid of the police. We can't go back, you guys. The increase in violence that came with the announcement of the smaller budget for them, and the way the public has been treating them, and the just not just the public, your press and your politicians as well. We can't go back. No, we got to get rid of them, and we have to see an experiment. And if your kid dies because her experiment is bullshit, well, we just got to change it a little bit to see what happens next. We got to see. Look, I'm sorry your kid got shot because we got rid of police. But we got to try something else. We can't go back to that, you guys. Policing, I mean, it was working. Crime was down, and it has been over the last, since the 90s, crime has fallen pretty steadily. Violent crime down everywhere except Chicago. And yeah, we can't go back to that. We got to try restorative justice, you guys. We got to try sending counselors in when there's some deranged lunatic running around. We have to send marriage counselors in when there's a domestic dispute. None of the things I just said is me being hyperbolic. These are things we've actually seen as proposals. You have to send unarmed counselors in. How many of those can get killed before we say, no, we got to stop that? How many counselors have to die before we say, nah, maybe policing was right? How many kids got to get shot before we go, you know what? Maybe the police aren't such a bad thing. Maybe a couple of bad cops doesn't make all the cops bad. It's amazing to me. They can, when it comes to the riots, man, look, just because a couple of people burned some shit down and shot some kids and beat the fuck out of each other and raped some women and shit in tents, that doesn't mean they were all bad. They can see that, but they can't do the same thing with police. You know, the same police that they will cry didn't come fast enough when somebody scratched their car. What do you think AOC would call if suddenly, oh, what is it, the mayor of Toronto? You guys remember that video of the people at the mayor's house? Who do you think she would call if a crowd like that showed up at her fucking door, beating on it, trying to get in? You think she's going to call the superintendent? Or do you think she's going to call the fucking police? When she got those, and I'm using air quotes, death threats, who did those get turned into? I'll give you a hint. It starts with capital and ends with police. But remember, the elites get things you don't. She wants to experiment with public safety. Experiment with public safety. I don't have the answers, and we can talk about that, but we can't go back. So maybe we'll try something, and some kids get shot, so we'll try something else. Donkey-looking bitch. Can you imagine that with anything else? Look, guys, we can't put out fires fast enough, and we can't put out all of the fires with fire departments. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of the fire departments and the fire trucks and the firemen because it's obviously not working, you guys. So what we're going to do is, we're going to get some fans because if you blow on a match, it goes out. So we're going to get some big fans and a really long extension cord. And when a fire breaks out, we'll have just some really fat chicks run the fans down to the fire and see if that works. I mean, I don't have all the answers, but I do know blowing on a flame can put it out. Yeah. Oh, God. Experiment with public safety. Let's say this again. There are 800,000 police officers in the United States. You can actually name all of the incidents from each year in a very short amount of time that anybody might have a problem with. Any of these situations, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, any of these things. And remember, what happened to those two is a fucking travesty. I've argued long and hard about that. So before anybody who's only listened a little bit hears it, the police fucked up horribly in both of those cases. In one, it was blatant murder. In the other, no-knock warrants need to go to fuck away. Especially middle of the night, no-knock warrants. Thank you, ex-Bubba Hotep. Oh, we can try smothering the flames with gasoline as well. That should work. Indeed. And Guntherette got the humps says police will use finger guns. Finger bang. Thank you so much for the donation. You don't have to redo the whole system because there are bad people. You don't. And you're going to get people killed. You're going to get people killed. You're going to send a counselor into a domestic. You know why we send the police? Because they tend to be violent situations that can get out of control really quickly. And you're going to send some bitch in a fucking business suit up there with her little clipboard and her learnings from the college to go in there and try to talk them down. That bitch is going to get shot. And who are they going to blame? There was no lack of training in what happened to George Floyd. There's no lack of training in what happened there. It's not like they forgot to tell this guy, don't kneel on somebody's neck for 8.5 minutes. Oops, shit, we forgot to tell that one class. If there was, it would be something you saw happening over and over and over again. Instead, I can think of exactly 2 cases, and they're not even from the same year. 800,000 police officers. If those police officers just had one interaction with the public each day, you're into the tens of millions of interactions within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. And you can name a handful of things over the course of several years. The police are doing a pretty goddamn good job, if you ask me. It doesn't mean there's no bad police. It means that sometimes there's shitty people out there. And there's no way to predict when that's going to happen. You can do your best to do it. You can try to weed them out. But if you go back and look at his jacket and everything, the only thing I saw in there, and maybe somebody has an updated version of it, was complaints about his language. Does that say you're going to kneel on somebody's neck one day for 8.5 minutes? I've told people to go fuck themselves. I mean, one day I'm going to kill someone over it. One day Monkey just decided to fucking choke a dude out because he said horrible words one time. You can't always predict this shit. We got to stop treating a tragedy and a minimal incident as though it's something that happens all the goddamn time. And again, it's funny to me that people can see that when it comes to the riots, as people are actually breaking shit repeatedly, breaking every window as they go down the street and setting a fire in every fucking building. Look, guys. You can't blame all of us for what happened there. That wasn't even us. That was an outside agitator. That was a white supremacist who dressed up like us and put on black skin and everything. And you sure as fuck can't replace them until you have an idea that's going to work. That you at least have some kind of idea is going to actually work. You're going to send in counselors. That's their best idea right now. Send in counselors. And you're going to get people killed. And that'll be on the folks who supported that. Because they're too dreamy-eyed to pay attention to the real world and how it works. We send police in there because those are dangerous situations. Police will even tell you some of the The most dangerous situations they tend to go into are domestic violence ones because they don't know what the fuck is about to happen. You can get people shot. Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm well rested. I actually got some sleep tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I slept from about 1 till about 8:45. Well, about 8:40. So, and again, it's my normal broken sleep, but it's better than stopping after 4 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm pretty well rested. Thanks. Just got done watching a video of AOC tell us we need to experiment with public safety. She doesn't know what's going to work, Jack, with the police, but we have to do something, and it's going to take some experimentation. You want to live in the city where they're going to experiment with that?
Oh, fuck no.
Yeah, me neither.
I maintain that this is part of a plan. They're going to they're going to get rid of the cops, have a bunch of like substitute bullshit in there that'll go horribly wrong, and then they could create a national police force.
I could see that.
And then it'll be under federal control and oversight, and they'll respond to them, and it'll be like a big old brown shirt Gestapo sort of thing.
That could never happen, Jack. This is Marca.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. I had just finished my rant, so if there was anything else you wanted to say on that, you're free to.
Nah, she's silly.
She's dumb. She's dumb, and she is easily swayed. I want to talk about something else, though. Mayor Bill de Blasio allowed Black Lives Matter to paint on Fifth Avenue.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, he may have inadvertently opened a door. This is from Women for America First.
Oh, this is going to be funny.
In light of, this is a letter. Dear Mayor de Blasio, in light of New York City's decision to open Fifth Avenue as a public fora and permit a bright yellow Black Lives Matter mural to be painted on the street, I write on behalf of Women for America First to express our organization's interest in likewise painting a mural of our own. Women for America First is a Virginia-based nonprofit that routinely holds events in New York City, has thousands of supporters nationwide, many of whom reside in New York City, including myself, and consistently strives to promote the empowerment of women. In light of your generosity in opening up historic Fifth Avenue as a public fora by allowing the Black Lives Matter organization to paint their motto, our organization too would like to paint a mural of our motto, engaging, inspiring, and empowering women to make a difference on Fifth Avenue or another similar street within the city's jurisdiction. In the event that Your Honor does not allow our organization to use Fifth Avenue, we propose putting our mural on FDR Drive outside Gracie Mansion. Alternatively, did you like that?
Yeah.
We're amenable to painting our mural on 42nd Street near Times Square or even City Park or City Hall Park, should you prefer. Regarding due concern, we would use the identical color paint and font as the Black Lives Matter organization, self-fund such painting, and we further agree that the square footage used for our mural would be equal to the square footage used for the Black Lives Matter organization mural. Women for America First is an organization, is cognizant that we will likely need. I'm sorry, this is very little font. This isn't my normal reading problems. Very little font.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Look at that shit.
Holy fuck, you were kidding.
I know. Women for America First is cognizant that we will likely need local authorities to assist in traffic diversion and parking restrictions while the painting is completed. Of course, we are amenable to completing the painting at any hour most convenient for Your Honor and the City of New York. Thank you for your consideration, and we look forward to response within 3 business days. Computers let you zoom, Monk. Yes, they do, but not usually when it is a Twitter picture, which this is. What usually happens is the picture will stay the same no matter what, and your Twitter itself will get bigger. Now, if that had been a link to somewhere else, I could have done that. Thank you for the donation, but believe me, I know how to zoom.
So effectively, what de Blasio did was open himself up to a shit ton of First Amendment lawsuits.
Yep.
My favorite is going to be and if anybody knows somebody in an organization in New York that is based in Jewish tradition, might want to, give them a little heads up. Because now they could petition to build a giant Jewish mural on the street right in front of de Blasio's mansion.
Yep, right outside Gracie.
Yeah. Oh, man, that would be priceless.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time telling them no.
He's not going to have a very good legal standing because he can't show discriminatory behavior. So,
yep, Black Lives Matter, whether you like it or not, is not just a slogan. It is an organization.
Yeah.
And as no matter how loosely defined it is, there is an organization, Black Lives Matter, that has leaders. There's video of them. The leaders of Black Lives Matter, myself and what's her name, are trained Marxists. Well, you just said you're leaders of an organization.
Yeah, and a political movement on top of that. So
yep. And you can't do that. Sorry, dude. You have to allow them to paint all the fuck over your city streets, man.
Yeah, like I would seriously put a big old Holocaust memorial mural right in front of his house.
Oh yeah, that would drive him nuts.
Yeah,
I would go out there and Jewish lives matter.
Yeah.
M the Atheist just subscribed. Thank you so much. I don't get to see most of them, but that one I see. M says test. We can see you. I think he'll say no, says nuts. He probably will, especially being that it's part of the America First movement.
Yeah.
But they'll sue and they'll win.
Yeah, let's be honest here. De Blasio is kind of an idiot because he keeps opening himself up to massive lawsuits from different groups. Like we've seen it with the Jewish groups. They have incredible lawsuits against him if they decided to pursue it. And I guarantee you they got some good lawyers.
Oh, real quick in chat. Hang on. Captain Tripper says, just bought one of your just let it happen shirts. Thank you so much. Says, my wife has been wanting one for a while. I'm glad you're able to get it. And I hope she enjoys it. And thank you so very much for the support of the channel. Remember, guys, you can pick up my merch and Jack's merch. They're both down. We each have our own store, and they are listed down below. I just thought this was funny as shit because I didn't even think of that when I saw the story that he did that. But, he is going to have to allow all lives matter to be written on those streets.
Yep. It'll be defaced and he won't enforce it, but somebody will do it just to be edgy.
Oh, yeah.
Make a point.
Yep. And this also, whether he likes it or not, can open it up to, let's call them shitheads. You just allowed your streets to be used as fucking billboards, you idiot.
Yep. Yep. That was a big mistake.
Which I wonder if this is going to make the folks of Washington, D.C. take the same tact.
That might. But that's the problem with virtue signaling is most of the people that do it don't have forethought about the long-term ramifications of what they're doing.
Oh, Nuts just said someone's going after the mayor that won't let them paint in front of the White House, too. Well, there you go. Yeah. She painted Black Lives Matter right down 160.
Didn't somebody get charged with a hate crime for trying to delete that?
Was that in Washington?
I don't remember. I remember it happened somewhere.
Yeah, there was the one where somebody got charged, and there's one where somebody changed it to All Lives Matter. I forget where that one is. They're looking for who did that. Who did this?
Those monsters.
That's the one that really made me laugh, Jack, because Black Lives Matter had been painted in multiple colors instead of just like the yellow. To be as inclusive as possible.
Oh, of course.
to be as inclusive as possible during Pride Month. I'm like, okay. The black population is less than 14%. It's 13 and some change. As inclusive as you can be with Black Lives Matter's 13%. That's not inclusive in any fucking manner, you fucking dicks. To be as inclusive as possible. Shut the fuck up. Dumb motherfucker. I hate dumb motherfuckers. Well, we painted it in rainbows, so that makes it inclusive. No, it doesn't, you dumbass. Actually, that kind of makes it a smaller percentage. Unless you're suggesting all blacks are gay. Or trans, sorry. It's not all trans people are gay, Jack. Gotta be careful in that.
This is too complicated for me.
Yeah, there's too many rules these days.
Yeah, I don't care who you're banging. Just don't tell me about it. I don't want to know.
Keep it out of the fucking papers, and I don't care. Yeah, I can't believe I didn't even think of that. Usually, I'm ashamed of myself, Jack. Normally, that would have been something I'm like, ooh, did he just open that door? And I slipped on that one.
You may have strained something from rolling your eyes too hard. The whole concept of the thing.
Could be. Did you see the police in West Vancouver is looking for a person making a skid mark? Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah. There's a rainbow street crossing. It's for gay people, and there's tire marks on it. So they're looking for him for a hate crime.
Yeah, it was fucking stupid.
Yeah, there's tire marks on a street, you guys.
On a crosswalk.
You know what? It may have been that somebody purposefully did it. I don't care. It's a fucking crosswalk.
Yeah, people peel out all the time. And I saw it was like a Camaro or something, some old kind of muscle car type thing is what it looked like anyway. You're telling me that asshole probably isn't trying to peel out? Give me a break. I doubt this was a hate crime because it's a crosswalk.
Yeah.
Oh, if that's a hate crime now, we're going to have to delete the scene from Thor where the Rainbow Bridge gets destroyed.
Well, let's bring this all together, Jack. If we get rid of the police, who goes and looks for the person that made skid marks on a crosswalk? Now, this is in Vancouver, so let's do it here. Who goes and looks for the person who painted over Black Lives Matter? Is there a graffiti counselor?
No, the bias response team. Dun dun.
Ah, yeah. They'll have a nice brown uniform.
Yeah. A
nice arm patch. Fucking people. Sorry.
Do you think if New York, don't die, dude.
There's something in the back of my throat.
Damn, get a drink or something. Do you think that if de Blasio is really committed to this and he institutes a mask policy, that all the Jewish people have to wear one with a yellow star?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Oh my God, I'm sorry about that, guys. I was trying to hit mute and I kept coughing, so my finger kept hitting the button repeatedly. Holy shit. I don't know what that was. Yeah, just something tickling the back of my throat and that little ledge that everything gets stuck on.
Oh, I hate that.
Man, Jesus. Oh. Anyway, sorry, guys. Hey, Diesel Dave, how you doing, my friend? I'm just waiting for the real shitheads. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of the America First crowd to begin with. But what happens if the Klan comes out? The Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled that you can't negate their free speech.
Yep.
As long as it's not something horribly derogatory, I mean, they should be allowed under current First Amendment rulings to go if they wanted to paint KKK on the street there. This is why we don't let political slogans be used on our fucking streets, you dumbass.
Yep. You open a door, you're not going to be able to hold closed.
All 8K of them. No, well, Dom, the point is not how few of them there are. It's the fact he opened the door to let them paint on his fucking streets. And why? So he could virtue signal and say how much he likes BLM, which, by the way, is a fucking commie terrorist group.
Yeah, and it won't be long before somebody organizes a group called White Lives Matter, and they petition to have this done.
Yep.
So, or they'll write Black Lives Matter with a question mark or something like that.
I'm glad you said that, Anthony said paint the 14 words, perhaps. That reminds me of I would never talk about this story. I was told this, Jack. I'm a puss. I wouldn't talk about this story. I will talk about it. I just don't think they'll like my response to it. Hate speech. Tucker Carlson accused of echoing white supremacist 14-word slogan. Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Well, I'm going to put it on the screen. Let me get it nice and big so y'all can see it. Yeah, that'll do. I need a producer. Now, if all you saw was this, maybe you could make that argument. On the Chiron, it says, we have to fight to preserve our nation and heritage. Now, again, if all you saw was this, you might be able to make that claim. These two give it away, though. I don't even have to watch the segment. These two give it away. This is Tammy Duckworth, the one that Tucker's been in an argument with because he called her unpatriotic. And this is Ilhan Omar, who just the other day said we need to tear down our systems of fucking government. I'm sorry, she said our political systems. That's totally different. He was literally talking about preserving American heritage because this jackass thinks maybe we should tear down statues of George fucking Washington.
Well, according to the people that are criticizing him, preserving American heritage is white supremacy.
Yeah.
So they're already delusional and kind of dumb. So,
unlike most press things we see, this right here actually is perfectly what he was talking about. It's not clickbaity at all. He's talking about preserving our nation and our heritage because he thinks they're trying to tear everything down so that they can rebuild the commie fucking nation this cunt wants. Sorry, Jack. I don't mean to yell, but this is the kind of bullshit news that we see that pisses me off. This is propaganda. Saying that this is echoing the 14 words. Go fuck yourself.
Propaganda is best when it's subtle, and they are quickly running out of subtle.
Yeah, they don't even try for subtle anymore. Don't even try for it.
They've got Trump derangement syndrome, and they think they have a righteous cause, which makes them incredibly dangerous.
Presumptive Democratic, this is from Salon, by the way. Presumptive Democratic nominee Joe Biden's campaign accused Fox News host Tucker Carlson of hate speech as he came under fire for appearing to echo a white supremacist slogan on Tuesday's broadcast. Twitter users widely circulated a screenshot of a Chiron which aired on Carlson's show, or on his show below, images for Senator Tammy Duckworth and Ilhan Omar, who's one of the first Muslim women elected to Congress. It had nothing to do with their races, you fucking assholes. It was literally, they were the people he was talking about. You guys remember, you made a big stink about what he said about them. No, he was being racist. He was dog whistling. He had one of them doggy whistles out so that all the liberal dogs could hear it. I'm sorry, what?
There must be a lot of dog whistles in production these days.
Yeah, there is, apparently. It was amazing, man. Them liberals. Oh, there's our dog whistle. We heard it. Man, they hear them all. They hear them all.
Well, they tend to be uglier.
I guess when you're raised racist, you get them all. And the rest of it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know how deep you have to dig to try to make that racist?
Well, that's the problem, is they're so ingrained in this zealotry that they do believe it immediately without doing any fact checking or listening to what he had to say, because that would be heretical to listen to it. You just have to listen and believe to the person that said it to you.
BG, I think that might be the best way I've heard this. He says, to be fair, it takes a bitch to hear a dog or to hear those whistles.
Yeah.
Male dogs can hear him too, but definitely the bitches hear him. That's literally what he was talking about, Jack.
Yeah.
And not white heritage, American heritage. The father of our fucking country heritage. For fuck's sake.
Well, that again, they've already made up their mind that George Washington was a white supremacist. So anything he touched turned to white supremacy. And it's a domino effect from there. So inherently, America is founded by white supremacists, blah, blah, blah. Magical thinking, logical leaps. By their same standard, Tucker Carlson is a unicorn hunter and should be stopped because he's hunting without a license. You don't have any evidence of that either because unicorns aren't fucking real. Well, he's not white supremacist either, but you can label him as such and walk away from it.
Dangerous Space says he appeared to. Translation, he did no such thing. Well, yeah, I mean, it's past the point of absurdity, man. The story last night about Trump and he's going to punish China. That one has really gotten under my skin so far. Jack, he was on Greta Van Susteren, and Mike Pompeo had come out and said that we're looking at banning TikTok because of possible spying and intrusion on Americans. And so Greta goes to ask him about this, and she says to him, the other day, Mike Pompeo said something, and she goes to say China, and before she can, he goes, yes. And she goes, is that something you're looking into? And he goes, yeah. He goes, just look at China, what's happened with the Wu flu and the way they put the whole world at risk. It is definitely something we're looking into, one of the many things we're considering. Now, very much like the Second Amendment, where they don't understand something that's used as a slight justification. China's a bad country was what he was getting at with the Wu flu part.
Yeah.
But he was not saying that's why he's looking at banning TikTok as a punishment for that. He's like, just look what these shitbags do. Why would we let them have why would we want them to have all of our information? Imagine what they'll do with that.
Yep.
But no, they actually, that's a punishment for Wu flu. I'm sorry, they would never say Wu flu anymore. Notice I said anymore.
Yeah, it's Kung flu.
For the coronavirus, Trump is going to ban TikTok. Fucking shitbags. Fucking lying shitbags. Oh. And then people repeat this shit, and I got to hear it. Now, it's okay. I don't mind hearing it because making fun of idiots is what I do. And without them, I'd have a pretty boring day. But it's so frustrating seeing it coming, Jack. I know this is coming. Someday, some idiot will, do you remember when he was going to punish China by taking away the TikTok?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you fucking assholes.
That's because they spy on us through it.
Story came out last week. China has been caught stealing your information if you're using TikTok in an iPhone. If you're using TikTok on your iPhone, they know everything about you guys. Sorry. Now, if you're using an Android, they probably do as well. But that one hasn't been found yet. Say it again. Yet. So yeah.
That's right, Chris. It's the NSA's job, not China's.
Right, indeed. At least the NSA is American. If I'm going to be spied on, it better be a fucking American doing it. I don't want it to be some foreigner knowing. Whoa, geez, that's really loud. I should turn that. I had it really loud because Lady Monkey was not feeling well today.
Oh, she okay?
And yeah, it turns out it's a viral infection due to allergies.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and since it's viral, there's nothing they can do for her, so they sent her to go get sinus medicine and allergy medicine. And if that doesn't work, they said then it'll turn bacterial, and then you have real problems. Like, oh, that sounds wonderful, honey. You stay over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had my ringer way up, so if she was tweeting for me or texting for me, I could hear it. But yeah, so she's not feeling very well. Hopefully the medicines kick in and she feels better tomorrow. She actually sounded like she was feeling better already.
Good.
Those allergy medicines tend to work pretty quick. And now she's, I have to take these forever. I'm like, welcome to my world. At least your pills are fucking small. All of mine are capsules, man. Anyway, careful with all that far right propaganda, Monk. He said, I think I pulled my sarcasm muzzle. Stop it. Yeah, no, I'm so far right. So far right.
Yeah, you big right winger.
Yeah, you didn't get a good chance to fuck with me about that. So, I made the comment because this guy, I always hear you. It's funny because he always hears me parroting Tucker's remarks because he called Tucker my God. You won't go after your God, Tucker. Like, what?
Is he confusing you with Sinatra?
I think so. But he also says he never watches, so I'm not sure which the case is.
Well, if he doesn't watch, how would he
Dude,
fucking know who you worship?
How the fuck do I know? But I made the comment that we comment on things long before most other people do. I said, so maybe Tucker's a fan. Like,
we're paying, yeah, right? We're paying more attention to the news.
We have more time.
Yeah.
How many times have you guys heard me jokingly say that people are ripping us off or probably watching us because they did a story after we did? Fuck, my own show. The other show that I do is behind this one because we just have time to talk. So many times Scribe will go to read a story. I'm like, oh yeah, we talked about that last night.
Yeah, because it takes a while for things to really get caught up in the media cycle, and we tend to look around and people send us stuff that they find. So yeah, it's pretty easy for us to be a little bit ahead of the curve when we've got the audience and two people with an inordinate amount of free time to surf the internet.
Right. Plus an audience that feeds us stories all the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like
not just through MS or through our hashtag MITAM, but directly in the chat while we're live.
Yeah.
This morning we broke 3 stories. We broke both of the Trump decisions in the Supreme Court and the Oklahoma one.
Yeah, and the rainbow crosswalk thing.
Oh yeah, that was on this morning too.
Yeah.
And look, Tucker, if you're out there watching my show, motherfucker, the least you could do is give us a shout out
or some money.
Money would be greater, but yeah. I mean, I said the least he could do.
Yeah, maybe wear one of our shirts on screen or something.
No shit. Have them hanging in the background at least.
It'd be like, this is where I get my news. CNN's got Washington Post. I got Monkey in the morning.
M the Atheist asked, what was the rainbow crosswalk thing was it Toronto? No.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. There's a rainbow crosswalk that's painted for Pride, and somebody spun their wheels on it, and they're looking for them, and there's a possibility they'll be charged with a hate crime for it. Yep.
That's fucking dumb. Canada. This is why nobody likes Canada. Nobody respects them, I should say. I like Canada. It's a beautiful country. But man, their politics are fucking dumb.
Checky Logic says he's always wearing a suit. That don't mean he always has to.
He could
Tomorrow's
wear
a new day.
Yeah, he could buy some stickers and put them on his pocket there.
Yeah. Snub says he also called you a hack. Yeah, he did. That guy told me to stop sucking my dick, called me a hack. I'm like, I'm not a hack. I just have a lot of time on my hands, man.
Look, as your co-host on here, or sidekick, I should say, I did not know you were so far right. I was unaware of this. I'm here all the time, and I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me?
You're probably that far right, too.
Oh.
So you didn't notice.
Well, I don't count. I'm just the sidekick. Nobody gives a fuck about me.
Hazmat says Tucker could have your mug. Indeed. There's a lot of ways he could. Bitch, stop stealing our content.
Yeah, we have mugs. You could at least give us a little something.
No. What we do is commentary. And when news articles come up, especially something breaking, if it pops up, we talk about it immediately, where most people don't see it until the next day. We do this usually sometime between 11 at night and 8 in the morning, anywhere in there. What time is Tucker on?
Like, what, 8 p.m.?
8 p.m. So by the time he talks about a story that we've talked about, I've probably already talked about it at least once. At least. And I probably tweeted about it at least once.
Yeah, and his show's only an hour, so we may have covered it for a couple days.
And he does like 15-minute or at least 10-minute segments on most of the things he talks about. So it limits the amount of things he can do. It's not me bragging that I'm some great breaker of news. I just have the time. And it's the same way with other YouTubers. How many times have I joked that Tim Pool is watching us because he covers something days after we did?
Yeah. Tim Pool watches us.
Wear our t-shirt, motherfucker. Man. My shirt shipped today, Jack. Still waiting on shipment notice about the stickers. Oh, well, thank you, old guy gamer.
Yeah, hopefully they'll get them to you soon. I don't have any control of that, unfortunately. Otherwise, you'd have had it already. So I want you to get them and use them.
We just have more time than most people do. And I get bored easily. And if something even if we're not on the air, if something breaks, there's many times there's like, fuck, I got to go talk about it now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the after parties are for.
Indeed. There's been a lot of them that were specifically because of that. Real quick over on the Streamlabs, Anthony Vogel, thank you so much. Off topic, just got my hands on the extended cut DVD box set of Lord of the Rings released in 2004 in brand new condition. Physical media for life. Well, there you go.
Damn right. Before they censor and delete it all off the internet.
I don't know if I could watch the extended editions of that. I've only ever seen the theatrical releases.
Well, if you want to imagine it, there's a lot of walking. They meet some ugly dude who's probably a male feminist. He wants something called the Precious, which is this circular thing with a hole in it that he wants to put his finger in. And it's a dude's got it. And this gay couple, it has to go to a mountain for like honeymoon or something. And then some of their friends get lost on the way to the wedding, and there's a big fight. There's some racial stereotypes that are in there, and a giant eyeball that watches people who's run by a white dude who controls the racial stereotypes. And then they end up breaking up, kind of, and throwing the ring in the volcano, and then they end up going on a cruise with an old man. You
forgot the longing, deep looks into each other's eyes.
Well, that's what they do on the cruise. Because
that's what they do every time they show those two.
Oh yeah, they're always eyeballing. They love each other. They just couldn't get married because of this weird gremlin-looking dude that wants to stick his finger in the round thing. So,
Sauron wouldn't allow gay marriage. Thank you, Hazmat, who says they should just make Death Stranding into a movie. That would still be a long ass movie. I watched a stream of Death Stranding, and it was like 3 or 4 hours long, and I skipped all of the gameplay, and I still ended up watching like an hour and a half of cutscene. That's a lot of cutscene, man.
Eagle said I was very succinct. Thank you, Eagle.
Oh, Snubberth, yes, thank you. I did see that today. Boycott for Goya Foods because the CEO praised Trump. Yeah, he was talking in the Rose Garden, and what did he say? Something like, "We're fortunate to have Trump as our president." Yeah, people are, "Oh my God!" Yeah. Look, I agree with the vote with your wallet kind of thing to a point. I'm not going to do it, but if you want to, if I like something, Jack, I'm gonna buy it. I don't care what the guy who runs the place said.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta eat, and don't want to miss out on good food because somebody said something stupid that works there. Who cares?
Who the fuck pays attention to what the CEOs of these companies are saying?
People with way too much fucking time on their hands.
Look, man, I don't even boycott iPhone because of them using slave labor in China. I just don't like iPhones.
Yeah,
I would still get one if I liked it because, fuck, me not buying it isn't going to stop them.
no,
They're just going to pay those poor kids less.
yeah, or they'll stop employing them altogether, and they won't be able to feed their families anymore.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those kids are earning money because their families are dirt fucking poor.
Uh-huh. And yeah, I know it's not great conditions, and I shouldn't be laughing as I say this, but honestly, if you want to be that person, good for you. Way to be a better person than me. I'm not a better person.
Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's the end of my argument. I'm just not a better person.
Me either. Thank you, Evolved Potato. Frodo and Sam is at least 100% less gay than Footloose. Yeah, if there had been a barn dance scene in any of the Lord of the Rings movie, which I'm sure is on the cutting room floor, it would have been gayer than Footloose. Just picture Mr. Frodo doing a little dance in the barn.
Oh my God. That should totally be a parody.
Yeah, it should.
Man, why y'all got to hit me where it hurts?
I was typing to thank Evolved and I almost wrote thank you, Footloose.
Hashtag thank you, Footloose.
Now, if they could do that scene from Flashdance where she pours the water on herself, dancing on stage, and do that with Elijah Wood doing it, and Sean Austin's in the audience, and he's the only one, and he's out there clapping, all smiling, dressed like a hobbit, I would fucking own that on Blu-ray. I'd pay $20 for that, just that 2-minute clip.
Quinn says AP says hi. Tell him we said hey. Yeah, AP's good people. He tells me he's a shitbag, but I don't believe him. Nobody puts Baggins in the corner. Stop it.
Right. Nobody put Mr. Frodo in the corner.
Do you think that? Yeah, it'd have to be. Sam's the top in that relationship, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's the whiny one that's whipped because he's always doing what Frodo says. So yeah, he's the man in that relationship. He's just henpecked. Well,
and he's a little bit more. I mean, when it comes time to push forward, he's the one that gives the more inspirational speeches. Where Frodo's just like, "Let me wear the jewelry." He's the chick.
Oh, the whole thing is about a ring. I mean, it's a total metaphor for gay marriage. I don't know why people hate this. Yeah, Sauron controls this racial demographic that he uses to go out and to burn down part of the gay district. I mean, the Shire. But, there's a lot of messaging in there that's good and bad. It's a product of its time.
Sam married Rose Cotton after he had his Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, she's his beard. I didn't see that in the movie, so it didn't happen. They both went on a cruise with that old man.
Sam is the hero of Lord of the Rings. I would say, that's true.
Yeah.
Sam was definitely if it wasn't for him, Frodo would have collapsed. And but they were obviously gay. Come on.
Yeah, and when they wandered off, that white dude that needed a shave, he went out and became a king. And he was like, white man's taking over. And went on white supremacy. Yeah, it was fucked up. There's a lot of weird things that happen in that movie.
I never finished the books. I couldn't. They were, dear God, horribly written. And I know there's going to be, calm down. We're allowed to have different opinions. But in the books, does it actually say something like, Sam looks lovingly into Frodo's eyes. He can see his future. He wants to touch his no-no square.
I'm pretty sure that's in the original manuscript, but not in the revised copies that were published. They were heavily censored due to the times, I'm sure. Because I bet those were like triple X-rated gay erotica.
Sam licked his lips, and then Frodo's.
And he was like, stick your tongue into my ring, Samwise.
Gamer says, I don't hate on them being gay. I'm not hating on them being gay. I'm hating on the fact that they just wouldn't admit it. Like,
they never
that was so gay.
I watched 3 movies and they never like actually kissed. They just stood there staring at each other with their doe eyes, like, oh, we're going on a big gay cruise with Uncle Gandalf.
Look, at the very least, there should have been a scene where it's really cold, so they cuddle together for warmth. And then the next morning, Frodo should have been walking like that guy from Top Secret after the cow got on him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hazmat, who says, stop it. What we did? Relax. Read the rest, Monk. Don't cherry pick my comment. I'll read however the hell I want. I don't know where the rest is. They went through all the emotions and realized, the same as straight hobbits is. That wasn't cherry picking your comment. I was just saying we weren't hating on it.
Yeah, it's.
I just think they should have been allowed to be openly gay.
Right. That's why the dwarves like them, because they're like, oh, look at these. See, hobbits were the gays of society. There.
We're the ones being progressive here, the open-minded.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give it some woke cred, man. Why you gotta hate?
Yeah, I mean, I just think they should have been allowed to hump.
They probably did it in the boat while Gandalf watched, playing with his staff. That's why they call me Gandalf the White.
That's how he got the white robe. Oh, man. You two speak with a lot of authority. I can look at society, man. I know what love looks like. Just because it was 2 men don't mean it's not love.
I just think they should be out and proud. Somebody's got to rewrite the books as the love story that it actually was.
Yeah, I mean, they can still throw the ring. See, look, this is what really happened. Sam did not want to put a ring on it. That's what this whole story was about.
Yeah, because he kept telling him through the whole thing, oh, Mr. Frodo, no, don't. Oh, my God.
Yeah. He put it in his butt once, and Fredo's like, now you got to put a ring on it. And Sam's like, no, we got to go burn that shit. I got other things to do. Just because I put it in your butt don't make me gay.
Let's see. It was a magic ring that would have enslaved him for life and made him give up half his stuff.
Just like a wedding ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a wedding ring, you guys.
Yeah. And it would have made Frodo invisible to everyone else, like Samwise.
Right.
You won't be able to see him the same way anymore.
And
you
so
had to go searching for him sometimes.
Yeah, so Sam's like, "Nah, bitch, we gotta get rid. I ain't putting a ring on it." And so that's what it was all about.
Look, we're young. We got decades of life ahead of us.
Yeah, we're college age. That was just experimenting. That's all. I'm eating cookie dough. Oh, all right.
Oh, real quick, thank you, Evolved Potato. At least the Lord of the Ring books were still better written than Harry Potter. Yeah, I mean that's a matter of personal preference, but they're definitely more maturely written.
And by maturely means fantasy. Anytime you're dealing with fantasy, you're gonna have way too much exposition because you have to describe everything. And now, not only do you have to describe a tree, you have to describe that it's got purple leaves and what magical powers it has. That's why I don't read fantasy. For me, reading fantasy is Playboy. Well, no, Penthouse. Playboy was actually good for the interviews, for the articles, or used to be. I haven't read Playboy in a long time. It wasn't so. If you look, man, back in the day, if you were jacking off to Playboy, it's just because you didn't have access to Penthouse.
Yeah. Or Eagle or Barely 21 or whatever. Barely 18.
Girl Next Door.
Yeah.
Cunt. There were all kinds of horrible ones, man. My brother came home with one day, and I looked at him like, that's disgusting. Like, you need, no. Because it was like choking porn and shit. I'm like, dude, I don't need to know that about you.
Girl I went to high school with was in one of those, like, it was either Barely 18 or Hawk or Eagle, one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, I wanted to bang that chick. I had to track that issue down. It took me like 3 years.
Damn.
Yeah, it was nicer than I thought.
That's dedication.
Well, you know, in the quest for boobies and nice asses.
The back in the day, it was almost like the internet is now. There were all kinds of porn magazines out there.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the internet, you can find all kinds of porn sites. Not all of them are good. Playboy was just, Playboy's very tame. Their pictures they actually almost could be considered art. Where like if you get Hustler, like that's a dirty bitch.
Yeah, Hustler was definitely better.
Thank you, Toxic Nightshade, who says Hustler was the best.
Yeah, it was definitely better. It was like of the major ones, you had Hustler, Penthouse, and Playboy, kind of in that order, in my opinion.
Which one had the Beaver of the Month or Beaver Hunt? That's what it was. Where you could send in your own pictures, and it was called Beaver Hunt or something like that.
Oh, I remember that. I don't remember which magazine. It was one of the smuttier ones.
That's where I got my love for amateur porn, because you look at that, even compared to like the Hustler pictures, which are still, you know, professionally shot. It's like, you might be a dirty bitch for fake. That's a dirty bitch for real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the real dirty bitches. I don't want ones getting paid for it. I want to do it just because it's Friday night. You know. Beaver Hunt was Hustler. Okay, there you go. And several people said Hustler. So thank you guys. Man, you know, do you realize in like 30 years, 40 years, nobody's going to be able to answer that question without actually looking it up?
Yeah. How sad is that?
I know, right? We were supposed to do a nostalgia stream tonight, and I forgot all about it, so maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, there's things like that that'll go away, and none of us will be alive to answer those questions.
Sad.
I know. We're going to die.
It'll probably be illegal again under the new SJW authoritarianism because it objectifies women.
Just like Ghislaine Maxwell, we're going to die.
Yeah.
Her probably sooner than us.
God, I hope so. I mean, comparatively speaking, if I got to make a choice.
Well, did you see that tweet that went out today? Hang on a second. Oh, wow. Wait, bring that back. I hate when I go over to Twitter and there's a picture and then it disappears because it updates for me. Like, no, where'd that go? That was a cute chick. Wow. This is from the New York Post. I don't know what the story's about, and I don't really care. Look at that. God bless America.
Damn. Hey, baby.
Yeah. She's all cute and shit.
Yeah.
Well done to the parents for making that. Always lost on nothing else. Thank you. Donation 174. Pros to the chat and a pros to the two hosts. Compliments of AP. Tell him we said thank you. I love AP. I really do. He's so funny. And he really deserves more credit for his Scooby series. I wish he would do more like that, because he was like Medicare, only funnier.
Yeah, those were great.
Okay, I know Scribe tweeted out what I'm looking for, so let me find him. He had responded to it. This one. Says AP, federal officials worried Ghislaine Maxwell might, and then in quotes, take her own life. Yeah, yep, that should be in quotes because nobody's going to believe that. I was watching somebody the other day. Who was it? I can't remember. But it was an older video, and it was about Jeffrey Epstein getting arrested. And they were talking about this guy's going to kill himself. And they were, wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then it's like everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Oh, yeah. It's like the Weinstein thing. Everybody knows, but nobody's going to do anything about it because they don't want to be next.
I'm happy, Hillary, to say that I know that man didn't kill himself. And I know Ghislaine ain't going to kill herself and she ain't going to get the COVID. They're going to kill that bitch.
Yeah, they are. They're totally going to kill that chick.
And I think her one friend was trying to get her killed because she came out and said that reportedly, I don't remember if they named the friend, but reportedly her friend came out and said Ghislaine has all the videos. Oh, yeah, that bitch is going to die. She's going to die, and a big magnet is going to be accidentally placed really close to that.
Well, you saw that ruling that judge made about destroying all the Epstein files instead of turning them over to the government.
Yep.
They got to destroy them. Yeah, there's nothing suspicious there. I wonder if it got to her.
So here's what happened in that case, guys. The evidence that they got was from a previous case that had been settled already. And so the judge has ruled that is not proper for her to have, so they have to destroy that evidence. Instead of turning it over to the police or anybody, because it's fruit of the poison tree. No, it's not. It came from an actual case.
Yeah.
It came from a legitimate source. Now, if she shouldn't have had it, then yet maybe she should have to turn it all over to, say, the authorities, to the government. But this fucking judge, it has to be destroyed. I'm like, is your husband on one of them tapes? I feel like maybe, or even her, because we're now hearing that there were several women who seemed to enjoy the fruits of Jeffrey's labor.
Yeah.
The unripened fruits of Jeffrey's labor.
Well, they're doing everything they can, the people in positions with the power to do so, to protect Epstein and his victimizers and not get justice for these kids. It's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, exactly. And Faithless, it's possible evidence for other crimes. Exactly. And as I said, it came from another case. There's no argument that in the other case it was gotten improperly. It's that in this case it was gotten improperly from that other case.
I want to know what they got on this judge because was her husband on that island? Was she? They should be looking at her because this is bullshit.
If I was a United States district attorney anywhere near this bitch, I'd be looking into her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Monkey. No, remember, I'm very happy and healthy right now. You got to say healthy now too, because they're gonna give this bitch COVID. That's how they're gonna take her out. Watch.
I already saw an article about her that she might have COVID or some nonsense. Yep. Yeah. Well, you know what? I don't have COVID. I haven't been around anyone with COVID, and I haven't been exposed to it. So, and I wear a mask when I go out because now I have to. Fucking law. This is bullshit.
Real quick, Hazmat, thank you. Sounds like some cartel shit. Yeah, doesn't it? Yeah, that sounds like some Mexican justice right there. Oh, no, you got to get rid of all that. That guy over there with the gun said so. They're going to blow up my house if I don't tell you to. No, the Epstein case pisses me off so much because we know for a fact that there are wheelers and dealers that should be going to jail. Just should be. And everything is being done to protect these people.
It's disgusting.
But the news media loses their absolute shit because an actress agrees to blow Harvey for a job.
Well, yeah, that's a woman. They don't care about children. They don't care if one of their elitist friends does something bad to kids because they don't give a shit about kids. They don't give a shit about anyone that isn't part of their group. You're nothing to them. And that's what it exactly is. That's why these people haven't faced justice. It's a two-tiered justice system. Some people are immune to it. Celebrities, rich people, government officials. And they'll do everything they can to cover for each other. Because you scratch their back, they'll scratch yours.
Yo Monkey AP just said you like Medicare but funnier. I don't believe that's true. I don't have the patience that those two have. When I was watching the Scooby series, that's really what I thought. I'm like, this is like Medicare stuff, only better. It is so much funnier. It's the kind of deep dive thing that he would do on some weird group, but it was funnier. And that's not a cut at Medicare. I think Medicare's quite funny, actually. I just think AP he was just on it the whole time. And it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, that had to have taken him hours and hours to compile all that crap. What a nightmare. Real quick. Thank you, Devil Fruit Zero. Hashtag Jack Lives Matter. I was going to give this to some black organization in the news lately, but I think Jack's issues are more important. Thank you.
M. the Atheist says, the real issue is why are the rich fixated on young women? You know what? I guarantee you, I promise you, this same kind of thing is going on somewhere with young boys.
Yeah.
Why the young? It's a power trip for them.
Yeah, and they want to do everything they can that they haven't done before because they can. Matt has said a few of the news station owners are on those flight logs. That would explain quite a bit.
I'm not shocked at all. JC Wolf says, who's AP again? Adonis Paul. Really good guy. Really funny as shit. He used to do a show with Ghastly way back in the day, and then they split or parted ways. And now he does stuff on his own. And usually it's at, what is it? He calls it the Blunt Stream that he does around this time at night.
I believe so.
Yeah, the Blunt Stream. And it's great stuff. And he also does videos as well. And yeah, check him out if you haven't seen him. It's called the Middle East Monkey. Well, I'm talking about here in the U.S. as well. The young boys are at churches. No, I understand what you guys are saying. But what I'm talking about is an underground ring like this that is happening in elite circles where how many times do we find out like, oh, look, they found child porn on this fucker's computer.
Right.
And it's like, whoops, some of those pictures are with him and a child. There was one of those cases a month or so ago. Some dude had like just a ridiculous amount of child porn, like a terabyte.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah. Like, how the fuck how did you get away with that for so long? Yeah.
I threw a link to AP's channel in there so you guys could check him out after the stream.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's criminally undersubbed too. He's got way fewer than I thought.
Well, he's had some problems. He's lost some channels over the years, or over the last year, actually. I don't know if this is one that he'd gotten back or one that he was holding on to. But yeah, I know he's lost channels and had to re-upload stuff repeatedly. Gamer Bleen, thank you. It happens in Thailand. We were ordered that was the one place to ignore people buying boys. Oh, when young women look back to Elizabeth Bathory. Yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about it happening anywhere else. I'm talking about somewhere in the United States that's happening. And my bet, Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, human trafficking is still a real problem, especially with young people. And it goes on a lot more than you think. And in a lot of areas, you wouldn't expect it.
Ask Corey Feldman about young boys being abused in Hollywood.
Yeah. Wherever there's rich people or powerful people, you're going to find degeneracy. That's just the way things go.
Oh, I forgot about that, Anthony Vogel. Paul Krugman, Nobel Prize winning economist for the New York Times. They found child porn on his computer, and somebody broke into my computer and planted that there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's how I got there, Paul. And
that dude always looks smarmy to me.
show him a picture of one of the kids with their clothes on. Does this look familiar to you? Like, yeah, I've seen them somewhere before. He is a douchebag. I do not like Krugman at all. The Young Boys was probably Kevin Spacey. No, I'm telling you, there's shit like that going on in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed. And we know it happens. I mean, we don't know for a fact because there's not like strong evidence, but I trust Corey Haim when he said that, or Corey Feldman. He has no reason to lie about it. It ruined his fucking career doing that.
Yeah.
And there were no marches for him. No marches for him at all. Paul Krugman ruins financial markets. He doesn't have that much sway. What he does is fillet himself on the pages of the New York Times. One of my teachers had a student that had CP on his thumb drive while trying to give the teachers work.
Wow.
Holy shit.
That's messed up.
Fun experience, my teacher to have to help the cops nail him. Yeah, that's what you do. Yes, I need a police officer here immediately. Some jackass kid just gave me this. There were no marches for Feldman because he was a dude and a child. I mean, nobody cares about it in Hollywood at all. Look, with all the cases that we've seen of child molestation, where are the marches for that? The marches for fuck's sake. The hashtag Me Too, what blew it up was not actual charges of rape. It was Harvey Weinstein demanding sex for a movie role, which, by the way, you can say no to, and many women did. It was after that the stories of him being an actual rapist came out. And suddenly we had to have a whole fucking movement because bitches suck dick for a movie role. But children being abused, you know what? I can't today. I got a bunion. Let me know if there's anything going on with women and I'll march for them.
Well, they don't want to die.
Yeah. The only time they care about little girls is when they're telling us they should be allowed to play sports or that they're not getting enough encouragement in math and science, which, by the way, is bullshit. We actually have a problem right now with boys not doing as well in math and science because all of the resources for math and science are being pushed towards girls. Instead of it being equal and whichever one wanted to pick it, boys doing so.
Well, yeah. That's how you fight the patriarchy, right?
Yeah. You subjugate. It's not about equality. It's about subjugation. And that's the same for any of these goddamn SJW movements.
Yep. You will kneel.
Mm-hmm. Well, we saw that with that the thing I read yesterday from the how do you come back from cancel culture?
Yeah.
That's you have to educate yourself. You have to apologize. And then you have to become an advocate for the person that you hurt. Go fuck yourself.
You have to put in the work, whatever the hell that means.
You have to put in the work. You want to hear a really great one, Jack? This one came tonight. And oh my God, it made my brain hurt. You can't be anti-racist without being anti-capitalist.
What?
Yeah.
More of this shit, huh?
Uh-huh. Tell me again how this isn't communism, guys. Monkey called it. Or as Razor Fist would say, fuck you, I was right. This has been about this shit the whole time.
Of course it has.
This has all been about indoctrination. This has all been about pushing people to that point where they will accept communism.
Yeah. They're doing it through emotional blackmail now.
Yep. You can't be anti-racist unless you are anti-capitalist. You know, you black guys out there, you hate the blacks because remember, there's no racism against whites. So you hate black people if you like capitalism. Thank you, Gamer. Why did the one give me a second. Why did the ones noticing the lack of women in STEM pick gender studies instead of STEM? Oh, wait, I understand, comrade. Yep. There's that rather famous cartoon. You got the two little booths set up. One is for STEM and one is for gender studies. And a whole bunch of women come and they all sign up for gender studies. And then the next panel, they're all holding signs that say we need more women in STEM. Yep. Yeah, it was a great cartoon because it so perfectly encapsulated what's happening. And you pointed out, and they're like, "Nuh-uh. That's not what my gender studies teacher told me." Capitalism is so racist. It has empowered black actors, athletes, politicians, hell, even activists. But dangerous. They're all just pawns in the white man's game.
It's true.
It is. Those are the only ways black people can get ahead. Don't pay any attention to the restaurateurs, the hotel owners, the small business owners, any of these other black people who've risen up. No, wasn't capitalism, man. It was all communism. Very, very rich pawns. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes just signed a contract for $50 million a year. That poor bastard.
Oh, he's so oppressed. Oh my God.
Very oppressed.
Those monsters.
What was Kaepernick making when he was in the league? Something like $15 million a year?
Something ridiculous like that.
So black people just can't get any justice in America. I saw a cop tonight. I was watching the feed over there on Eyes On. And there's this cop trying to explain to the protesters why cops had come out in Louisville to break up their riot. And he told them, like, look, if you guys stay here, you're not going to get in trouble. If you go over here, we're going to have to stop you. And the guy goes, no, that's not how it works. And they go, okay, let me ask you this. How many times have we stopped you? They're like, well, twice. It was okay. And in both of those incidences, you guys were doing it wrong, right? The guy like, yeah. He goes, okay. The guy's like, but why you guys got to come out? Like, oh.
He's better off just smacking his head against the table.
Yeah, he really would have been. They do not get it. And you can't explain it to them because they're fucking retarded.
And they don't care.
Yeah, they don't
be out there anyway.
Yeah. Giovanni says they were having none of it with that cop. I know, right? I felt bad for that cop. And I even put into chat like that. They're not going to get this. And they won't because they don't want to.
Yep.
But never forget, guys, all of this stuff that you're seeing, it's not about a better world. It's really not. It's about communism. It really, really is. That's why they will tell you, oh, Dr. King was a communist. And you know what? King had some communist ideas. He did. I'm not going to lie to you about it. But that's not why he's celebrated. King is celebrated for his, we should all get along. And that's what made him a great man.
Yeah, peaceful protests, going out there preaching nonviolence. That's what made him a good man. His message, and not a bunch of bullshit nonsense like this.
Earl said, Justice League lineup, Monkey Jack, AP, Scribe, Razor, and Undoomed. Imagine that stream. I would love to. I've streamed with every one of those except Razor. I would love to talk to Razor Fist sometime. What's going on here? Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up on chat real quick because I always feel bad when I don't read it. Can't be. What do you think of this new anti-racism thing, Jack? Have you seen that?
It's fucking dumb. It's another excuse to try and force people into believing what you believe, which is, SJW nonsense.
They're actually kind of right in what they said that you can't be anti-racism because anti-racism doesn't mean not racist. It really doesn't. It is a new term for the way they're trying to teach children and force upon you anti-racism. And what it means is being racist to white people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just more of the same nonsense, but with a different terminology.
Yeah. It's a push to white people. Even if you've not done anything racist, you're racist and you need to atone for it.
Yeah, it's original sin.
You need to stop doing that thing you weren't doing. And we read that one article that chick who said that she's finally stopped calling herself not racist, and she did it because even though she describes not being racist, she wasn't doing enough, Jack.
Oh, yeah, of course not.
She wasn't putting herself in the line of fire between the police and the black people.
Whatever that means.
It means holding your baby while wearing a shirt that says, "If they start shooting, get behind me."
Yeah, well,
I love the people that tried to explain to me because I made a joke about, late term abortion in that one. And like, she probably wasn't, she didn't know that she'd be holding the baby. Well, she knew she had one, right?
Where did she think that baby was going to be?
And even if she wasn't holding the baby, if she gets in front of a bullet, that baby don't have a mama. Now, granted, she was a little thick. She wasn't like super huge, but she's a little thick. So maybe a bullet would have a little harder time getting to one of the vital organs. So, I mean, maybe she just walk away with a limp or something. But she's still putting herself in danger when she has a child to think about. I hate that, man. So many of these people have children they should be thinking about, and they don't.
No,
and but they use them as the excuse for what they're doing.
Well, children are an accessory to them.
You are not revolutionaries. You are not going off to war to make a better country for your children. You're fucking shitbag commies who need to go get a fucking job.
Well, Mr. Hate Facts.
I've grown up in church my whole life. I've never heard people as dogmatically religious as leftists. You're not wrong.
Well, they just substituted religion for something else.
Yeah. Without religion, this fills the gap. Gamer Vleen, thank you. Did you see the former wide receiver catch a toddler thrown to safety from a fire? His mother died saving him. I did not, but that's good on him, and that's tragic.
Yeah, it was really weird watching him run toward the fence line and then spike the baby and do a dance.
Yeah, I mean, he got a 15-yard penalty for it, but I mean, you can't. It's just habit.
When you're trying to win, you're trying to win.
Yeah, and you dump the Gatorade on the coach, not the quarterback. So,
yeah. Well, good on that guy for catching.
Yeah,
it's rough catching somebody jumping out or being thrown out of a window.
I've seen people as dogmatic as they're leftists. I mean, you got crazy cultists out there. Scientologists are. You challenge their stuff, they'll fucking sue you.
Yeah, Westboro Baptists.
Mm-hmm. But it's not on such a scale. Someone calls me racist. My instant response is, "How can I be racist if I hate everyone equally?" My response is, "Go fuck yourself." Or to tell them I'm black. What do you prove I'm not, bitch? So since he caught it, does he have to keep it? No, I'm not sure that's how the law works. It still made the season's highlight video. Black girl on Twitter said not all white people are racist, but most are. Unfortunately, that's what people are being taught. You can't blame her for thinking that. Well, look, depending on how old she is. I don't blame a young black woman for thinking that, or a young black man, or even a young white or black person, or white male or female, because that's what they're taught. That's what your kids are being taught these days. You have these assholes who go on to nightly news programs and go into your kids' schools and who work for your companies who are taught implicit bias exists. that you are racist whether you mean to be or not. Which, by the way, not the definition of racism. It probably is now. Racism, God damn, I hate these people.
They're manipulative. They have tons of useful idiots.
Yeah. And then they go out and look for the useful idiots. And boy, are there a lot of them.
Yeah.
Most white people aren't racist, for Pete's sake. I can't say most people aren't. I would say most people don't display any. I don't know what they're thinking. But I think most white people go out of their way to show that they're not. And it's kind of funny because they end up making an ass of themselves. Because they end up talking down to blacks, and what they're trying to do is show that they're not racist. It's funny as fuck. If you're not going to have a family nowadays, do you realize you're not helping, and commies are just going to beat you up in the nursing home? For sure. Thank you, Kevin. Right now, I think we have a problem with too many people thinking communism will never come here. And they are outnumbered by the number of people who are trying to bring it here.
Yeah. Let's be honest. If the communists do take over, we're not going to live to be that old.
True.
We'll camps by then.
Yeah, you and me, we got way too much evidence. We're going to a camp for sure. What was I going to say there? Oh, I want to be clear. I'm not talking about democratic socialism, and neither are they. This is communism. This is what they're trying to bring, and you better believe they're going to. They're doing, yes, communism already has its foot in the door. It has its foot, its leg, and most of its ass through the door. And most people are just sitting back watching.
Yeah, it's a lot more entrenched than you think.
Yep. Yeah. Or Faithless says, not me. I'm going out in a blaze of glory. I'm going to my camp with my head held high. In my far right nonsense, Jack.
Yeah. Well, it'll be people like the person that called you far right making those decisions as to whether or not you are an extremist. And if that's the standard, we're all in big trouble.
Well, look at the standard, man. It's just, did you hurt somebody's feelings?
Yeah.
You can't prove somebody's feelings weren't hurt.
No, and it's a listen and believe evidentiary. It's not anything else. So, of course you hurt their feelings. You're a fucking monster.
Ultranaut says, go for the high score. And Evil Ferret says, 2020 has red pilled a lot of people. I still have hope. I think way too many people, like the first time I called Bernie Sanders a commie on this show, several got very upset that I used that word. Like, oh, monkey, that's just like when they use Nazi all the time. No, it's not. Because when they use Nazi all the time, they're literally just doing it for somebody that they disagree with. When I say commie, it's because I paid attention. This is the motherfucker who praised Castro.
Yeah, vacationed in Soviet Union.
Where he just happened to have his honeymoon. Yeah. They actually arranged it so it worked out that way. It was a trip that a whole bunch of people were going on. That's what they'll tell you. But yeah, they did it purposefully so that their honeymoon would be there. This is the man who said, at least with breadlines, you get the bread. That is a quote. I'm not making that fucking shit up. At least with the bread lines, you get, or is it you get the bread or there is bread? One of those two. At least with the bread lines, that's the bread. Look, Castro, he wasn't a good guy, but he taught a lot of people how to weed. He taught them how to weed, and I'm pretty sure he fucked Trudeau's wife. Castro was a bad man. He gave us communist Cuba and Canada under Trudeau.
Yeah. Talk about infiltration. Jeez.
Jesus. He infiltrated Trudeau's wife.
Right.
Balls deep. Balls deep. I thought the bread lines were where you waited for bread, not actually got it. No, you would eventually get it if you stayed in line long enough.
Yeah, hopefully, unless they ran out.
And then you just wait. You could still wait, and as long as you were just lined up, you could wait for the next day. They didn't have rules about you had to go home when it was out, did they?
I don't know. I think sometimes it did run out, though.
I just remember the stories of toilet paper lines, you guys. Wait for that until you got crusty ass because they ran out of toilet paper. You thought our toilet paper scare was bad. Wait until there actually is a shortage in production.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll be a lot of fun. The Cuban Missile Crisis was something different in Canada.
Gross.
Hey, look, man, he grew up to be prime minister, so he got to rule a country just like his dad did. They just tell you the wrong dad when they talk about him on the news. His dad used to be prime minister. Bitch. His daddy used to be El Presidente. Its bread lines are a good thing because everybody gets food instead of just rich people. No, it's in bread lines. At least you get the bread. That quote is out there. There's a video of it. Lonesome One, thank you so much. Before I found out that he was a real commie, an old friend of mine had us play a board game called Block by Block. Look it up. It's just like Antifa. It's spelled BLOC. That didn't.
Well, most people didn't know what that was until a few years ago, unless they looked from Europe.
Well, the Soviet bloc was always spelled with a C, just the C.
Yeah, and most of these guys are young enough. They were probably born after the Soviet Union fell.
Fucking youngins. God damn it. You had to go. Oh, you go home because of curfew. Okay, well, potato. I got you there. That makes sense. Block by block. Yeah, I'm not looking that up. I feel like that'll make me a commie. I don't want that in my search history. I'll look it up. I swear to God, he said it that way. But fuck Bernie. Now you're gonna make me look this shit up. God damn it. My memory's not good enough for us to disagree on this. This one here, right? This is the one. There's the video where they fuck stuff up. I'm watching it. Sorry. Oh, that's not the one. That cuts off before he actually says it. You know, the problem with Bernie is he's been running around saying communist shit for how long has he been in Congress now?
A long time, decades.
Yeah, he's been in some form or another. Yeah. So which one is it? This one? No, that's him talking about healthcare in Nicaragua. He talked well about Nicaragua too.
Probably.
This motherfucker. And I hate this dude. I hate commies, man. I don't get. Remember when we used to, what's the word I'm looking for? Execute them?
We used to at least ostracize them.
Make them hide. I hate these people. Bernie's as much of a commie as Lee Harvey Oswald. I'm not sure which way you're going with that. Bernie's absolutely a communist. I know Lee spent some time in Russia. He was over there for a while. There was some some chatter that he might have helped take down the U-2 flights.
I think he got disillusioned with it.
That's what he said to come back to the U.S. But I mean, what happened with Lee was weird. And I'm not talking about the actual Kennedy shooting itself, but with the whole Russia thing with Lee Harvey Oswald is weird. An American citizen back in this was in the 50s when he went over there, right? Or was it actually in 60? I can't remember. I know it was in that time frame. You're talking at the height of fuck communism. If you thought Reagan hated communism, should have lived back then. And Lee Harvey Oswald is not only allowed to defect to Russia, but to defect back. That's weird, especially with him being being foreign military or former military, and them suspecting in any manner that he might have had something to do with the U-2 flights getting shot down. Yeah. When he came back, his ass should have went straight to Leavenworth. It's weird. I thought he went to Cuba too. I don't know if he ever actually went to Cuba. I know he used to promote them in the street. All these right-wing talking points. Look, when it comes to communism, I am far against communism. Fuck that commie shit. And if not being for that makes me right-wing, then fuck it, I'm right-wing. Because fuck communism. Fuck it right in its poor shot behind a building because you said the wrong thing ass. Yeah. He should have been shot when he came back. He should have been, like I said, at the very least in Leavenworth, and probably, especially at that time, he probably should have been tried for treason. And the fact that he wasn't is weird. That lends a lot of credence to the theories that he was in the CIA, because that would be the only way that you let him go over there and come back, is that he was actually a counterintelligence. But from all we know about his life over there, he was just as poor as everybody else in the Soviet Union. Communism killed more people than fascism ever did. Yeah, I mean, the death toll on communism that everybody puts the number on is what? Almost, is it 60 million?
Yeah, it's probably higher, but we don't actually know.
And I mean, fascism didn't really come around until Mussolini.
Yeah.
And that's what, the 40s that he did? It was the 30s that he did that. So, yeah. Communism just got a great jump start. That's all. I don't understand why people are so happy to starve. It makes no sense to me. Monkey feels about communism the way the emperor feels about religion. Which emperor? Oh, I'm guessing. Are you talking about Warhammer? Zeo Gold likes to make Warhammer reference, so I'm just checking. And they claim that fascism is right-wing, so ignorant. I know, right? I know. Look, fascism is just dicketry. Same as, to me, it's not that much different from communism, in that communism requires an authoritarian government and fascism is just a very authoritarian government. You guys you're fighting a fight that they fought over in Germany, for fuck's sake, in the 30s, for fuck's sake, that led to the rise of Hitler. They were having the fascism versus communism argument over there. Two sides of the same coin, you stupid fucks. Jesus Christ. And I'm over here saying capitalism and freedom, motherfucker. And that makes me right wing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Real quick, thank you, Emery. The term "useful idiots" tells you everything. Dupes. Yeah.
Yeah, they use
what were you
it until
saying?
they're not useful anymore.
What were you saying before that?
No, I was just calling you a monster for your spreading of the evil capitalism.
Yeah. Let freedom ring, motherfucker. You know, I love that thinking people should be allowed to say whatever they want is fascist. Like, I don't think you guys know what that word means, like, at all. It's they use it the same way they use Nazi. It's just somebody we don't like.
Yeah, that's all it means now.
You have no idea what fascism is because you live a very privileged life where your mommy and daddy buy you your juice boxes that you take to your little fucking rallies. Fucking shitbags. Fascism is just communism for one group. Fair enough. Yeah, except this time the commies are against the Jews. Well, it's not like they were exactly for the Jews in the first place.
Yeah, communism killed a lot of Jews too.
Yeah.
Just Russia.
Shadow says then you will have good company being right wing with me. Look, if that's what right wing means, I stand for as much freedom as possible. I stand for, and that goes for the market as well. That's why I'm capitalist. I think the government overreaches in regulation a lot. That doesn't mean I don't believe in any regulation. Sometimes I think businesses force the government to step in, but in those cases, I think the regulations, like, okay, it's under control, should back off. And people say, and like, if you guys get out of hand again, you're going to force us to do this. Behave yourselves. And that's usually with like environmental shit, Jack. Like when they dump all kinds of horrible shit in people's drinking water. Yeah, we should probably step in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'm like, hey, do your thing. Do your thing. Go out there, prosper, be free. Say what the fuck you want. I don't care. You say what you're going to say. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and then we'll both walk away and have a great day. We'll see who has the better argument. No, we have to shut you down. We have to limit what you can say because you're fascist.
Words hurt, monkey. And you're saying things they don't like. It wounds them on a visceral level. It's like a paper cut on their soul.
After that open letter, have they decried Noam Chomsky as alt-right yet? No. But the letter itself is white privilege. Even though it was the whole concept was developed by a black man. That fucking, oh my God, that New York Times article. Were you here for that, Jack?
Yeah, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah. So the New York Times, a New York Times reporter put out a tweet about an article from the New York Times. And in the tweet, she tells everybody that the tweet was spearheaded by a conversation between four privileged white guys. In the article itself, it tells you that it was spearheaded by a black man who was talking to those four white guys.
They probably made him talk to him.
Yeah. You know what it was? It was writers going, I don't want to be silenced. I don't want this kind of shit to happen. And you have a pushback against that. This is basically ideological book burning.
Absolutely. And we're going to see actual book burning if this keeps up. You saw that article out of the Washington Post talking about the problematic books on the bookshelves.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to see more of that shit. They're already deleting stuff off of websites, so wouldn't surprise me. We're going to see a lot more of this. People that can't publish their books because of the things they've said.
D. Quaid Man says the bitch didn't say that, did she? She absolutely said that. I quoted the article to her and highlighted the piece where it mentions the guy's name. And if you look him up, he has a black father and a white mother. The exact same as our first black president, Barack Obama. And so I asked her, is Barack Obama white? And she hasn't responded.
Well, he has internalized whiteness, which is like the most evil thing you can have.
You know, if I could see, and I mean this sincerely, I can see this happening. Barack Obama takes the wrong position because while he is a lefty, I'm not quite sure he's a commie. I can see him taking the wrong position, which he's already done. He's already come out and said, we need to talk to the other side. Do you remember when he said that? And everybody's like, how dare you?
He has an even more egregious sin. He used to be against gay marriage.
And I see a day when they come out and go, but he's half white.
Yeah, he's not black enough. He's not pure enough. He said these things 20 years ago, and they'll find a way to minimize whoever they need to.
Yeah. I used to joke that, to get a black president, the Democrats still chose a guy who's half white. Because that's the only way they're going to hire. It's the only way Democrats are hiring a black man. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome to the world. They're like, look, I know he's black, but at least half of him's white. So I don't have to take out Grandpa's hood just yet. Just yet. But they'll bring out those hoods for him. They will. If he says the wrong thing, oh yeah, his half white side will be played up a lot. I guarantee it. And the sad part is I don't think we're too far from that, which is fucking stupid.
We're getting closer every day. These people get braver and bolder. I mean, look at all the statues they've already destroyed, and nobody does anything to stop them. They're getting books and movies taken off the internet.
Yep.
It's going to get a lot worse, and it's accelerating. So it'll get a lot worse a lot quicker. Unless people stand en masse and do something, nothing's going to change. They'll use the individual incidences as a reason to crack down harder. Because, look, these gun nuts are violent because they went after some of our people. Or these people believe this thing. Look at that couple that went out to defend their property.
Mm-hmm.
To defend their property, and they got smeared, doxxed, and they're still getting harassed.
Oh, and they will for quite a while.
Yeah. That's not it's coming to your neighborhood whether you want to admit it or not. You have to push back in whatever ways you can.
I also want to remind you guys that Harper's article, even though they came out in favor of free speech, they still did things like trash the president in it. We read the article on here, and I stopped probably every sentence for the first 2 paragraphs going, what the fuck are they talking about? It's only that last paragraph where they really come out like, we think people should be allowed to. And it's also only in artistic endeavors. It's not like they said everybody should have free speech. It's artistic endeavors. Like, no, fuck you. No. La, 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 la. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Because they're shitbags.
And counter protesters are going to start being arrested more and more. You go out there to stop them from tearing down a statue, you're going to get arrested. So this crap is just getting worse. You reminded me of something I wanted to talk about. I've been watching the what are their names? The conservative twins. Fuck. Hedges? The Hodges twins. I've been watching them lately because I've seen a lot of their political stuff, but for some reason, one of their older videos popped up, and I wasn't familiar with them because they have weight training videos and all kinds of other stuff. One of the videos is Keith trolling Kevin's wife, and that's a funny fucking video. I was out there just laughing my ass off. Both of them have Mexican wives. But so I think it was Keith is fucking with Kevin's wife, whichever one it is. They do look a lot alike. The only way I can tell them apart is the scar on their head. One of them has a scar going straight up and down, where the other one has one going sideways. I think their mom probably did that so they could tell them apart. They look from above. It's a number 1 and a number 2. But he keeps fucking with his brother's wife about his brother's dick cheese. Gross. And then for like 10 minutes, he is just bugging her. How do you say dick cheese in Spanish? No, come on. How do you say dick cheese in Spanish? And it's just, it amused the shit out of me. But anyway, I was watching them and I forgot my point. Did they say something funny? Oh, yeah, they did. But
You were talking about, what were you talking about before I went into that story?
I don't remember. I got distracted already.
Shit. Damn it.
Well, I'm going to use this opportunity to say that I've just glanced over Eyes On channel.
Yeah.
And the protesters have umbrellas put out with people's names written on them.
Aw.
It's
Now I have to
adorable.
go back.
It's like an arts and crafts project for dipshits.
I'm actually going back on the stream to see what the hell we were talking about. I hate this.
We're professionals.
You keep talking. You're not talking.
I don't know what to say. You put me on the spot.
Answer them.
And it looks like coronavirus. Yeah, it does kind of look like coronavirus. I need to stop getting distracted while watching Monkey stream. Right? We get distracted. We're on the stream. Oh, comics. Yeah, I love comics. I have a whole channel devoted to it. Are you subscribed? You should be.
You could shill us.
Oh, yeah. Hey, if you guys like the content that you're watching right now for some reason, be sure and hit the like button. Don't forget to share it around and subscribe to Monkey's channel and my channel. And if you want to support us, feel free to donate to our Streamlabs or Patreon, or if you want to get something shiny from the t-shirt store on Teespring, all the links are in the description. It's pretty awesome. And thank you, Stargazer, for dropping our links like always. That is amazing. Who's the best looking guy in showbiz today? I don't know. I don't look at dudes. All dudes look like potatoes to me. Tell us the story of your travels on the Oregon Trail. Now they all involve cannibalism and Indian attacks.
I can't fucking find it. Oh, well. Where are we at here? RIP for HP Lovecraft statue. Oh, yeah. Supposedly they're taking that down because he's racist. Why do they have umbrellas out? How many are there tonight?
As far as people, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I didn't see very many earlier. There was one guy with a megaphone chanting way too much, and maybe 20 people, if you counted some who looked like onlookers going, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet that half the crowd is live streamers. Merle said we were talking about counter-protesters being arrested.
Yeah, that's what I found, but it's not triggering anything in my brain.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I did it.
Well, I'm going to blame a boulder.
No, I watched so much of those guys, and I was laughing my ass off, and I don't remember. This is twice now, because I was going to talk about it last night on the stream, too, and I got so distracted talking about the other things I'd seen them do, because they're funny as fuck. They make me laugh so hard. There's one video, because they stand usually in their older videos, they would stand one closer to the camera and the other one just behind him. And the one guy licks his lips all the time. Yeah. And so it makes the sound. And his brother freaks out at him every time. He just sort of, get that fucking shit out of my ear.
Right? And, that pissed me off so bad too.
And he also sniffs a lot. So he'll turn around, stop sniffing at me. It's just funny as shit. So yeah, I wish I could remember what point it was that they made that I wanted to bring up, but I can't for the life of me fucking remember.
When I was watching it the other day, I was making Polly and Quiz watch because I knew I could get them hooked on it too. After our stream. And it turns out that Villain Phoenix was interviewing what was quite likely a crackhead.
Nice.
It was so funny. The guy was like talking all this weird shit about how he got arrested and cut loose, and Villain is just not getting whatever the guy's laying down. I think he was working on a story to kind of ask him for money, and then when the guy starts walking away, Villain just starts walking with him, still talking to him.
Nice. No, I tuned in last night, but I wasn't actually paying too much attention to it. What was I doing? I was doing something on my other screen. I don't remember what. So, yeah, I didn't pay that much attention to it last night. There was nothing going on really. I did see Villain talking to some chick.
Oh, no,
who
they're in Surrey.
I can't remember.
She looked Indian with the lip ring, talking about how she was an emergency room medic and all this. That one was a good one.
I don't remember talking about that. She was talking about how her mom was forced to give her up because her mom has some genetic condition that they all have, and her mom has the bad kind of it. So every so often her mom, I even forget what she said it does to her mom. But yeah, it was boring as shit. And I'm like, I can't. I was happy to support Eyes on Stream. So I kept it up, but like, I'm not interested in this at all. So I think I wasn't playing balloons. What the fuck was I doing? I don't remember. And then I end up listening to the entire Alexander soundtrack, which, by the way, fucking excellent. I still haven't watched the play, but oh my God, the soundtrack is amazing. And you know what? I don't like it for what I think most people do, because I hear, it was a great soundtrack. The songs are okay, and actually, there's several of them that I wish they would have done in different styles. I just like that they're actually covering the history in a mostly proper way, and that so many people got excited about it and liked it. I'm like, this is what people were excited about? That's awesome. Make more. Make more. Get the founders actually out there and celebrate it. Alexander was a egomaniacal freak. He was a very smart man, but he was so very he grew up poor, and he was so very his legacy was everything. He was Bill Clinton before Bill Clinton was. And he ended up getting himself killed because he was so very worried about honor. He insulted at Burr, and instead of telling Burr to go fuck himself, he's like, fine, we'll duel, which, by the way, was illegal at the time. That's why they did it in New Jersey. It was illegal in New York. Gamer Valine, thank you. Eyes on Stream, the FBI raid on the church I told you about in the always delightful Florida Man News.
They raided a church for having a fake cure for COVID.
Oh yeah, the COVID thing. Yeah, I didn't know they raided them, but yeah.
Yeah, the feds went down there and busted it up. Eyes on put up the news footage from it.
Alexander Hamilton actually looks like Bill Clinton. Not too far off, yeah. I could see it. It could be like his uncle or something.
So if we find his intern's dress, we'll find out for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, it was. It's amazing to me that that's what so many people were excited about, because it's not like the songs aren't frilly. It talks about like what happened. Like when the Reynolds pamphlet came out. So Alexander Hamilton had an affair for a year while his wife was in upstate New York. And he was supposed to be there helping draft the Constitution and get it passed. And the chick's husband was like, you either need to pay me or I'm going to tell everybody you did this. Tried to blackmail him. So Alexander wrote it himself and put it out in the public. And they don't shield that shit at all, man. They don't try to make him sound like a great man. They show his flaws and everything. The actual story of that is fucked up, man. I don't know if it was actually a honey trap, Jack.
Oh, it was totally a honey trap.
But it totally sounds like one. Totally sounds like one.
See, now they built a statue to Alexander Hamilton, and somebody tears it down. I give it about 10 minutes before they're like, they're tearing down a statue of a black man.
I don't know if it's true, but I heard people are trying to get Hamilton taken off of Disney because of something about slavery. Yes. Although I don't believe Hamilton ever had slaves.
Probably not, but he was hanging out with slave owners. So
he was, yes, indeed. But he was he wasn't even from the US. He was from the British Isles. The British Virgin Islands, specifically, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, he grew up poor as fuck, man. and he grew up in the North, so he didn't have slaves, and his wife was an abolitionist. So, and you got to go with your wife's stuff, or she gonna make your life miserable.
Yeah, and then you end up cheating on her and having to publish a paper about it.
Quaveman says, "Don't engage in a duel if you're not convinced you can win it." Hamilton, by all accounts, except for Burr's side, never aimed at Aaron Burr.
No, it was more about doing it for honor.
Yep.
Back then, very few people were doing it to actually kill you. They just had to kind of shoot your general direction, and sometimes they actually killed you. Depends how egregious it was.
And actually, they know for a fact that Hamilton shot way over Burr's head. And there's two different accounts. The Burr people are like, he just missed. And the Hamilton people are like, he was just shooting over his head so that he didn't hit him. But the duel still happened. Honor is retained somehow, because apparently punching a guy in the face is too hard. Yeah.
Well, they didn't have boxing rules very well back then.
Rejecting a duel meant admitting guilt back then. Except for like I said, in New York, duels were illegal. That's why they had to go to Jersey. They actually have a slight song in there about everything's legal in Jersey.
Not wrong.
Because Jersey's always been a shithole.
Yeah, they have giant monsters. Come on.
Why in the world didn't they just let the Indians keep it? That's not right, Frank. Be nice.
Well, they got Oklahoma. What more do they want?
Do you think that's a win for them to get Oklahoma?
No, because originally they were moved to Oklahoma because nobody wanted it.
Yeah, they were. They were forced there on
Trail of Tears.
Trail of Tears. They moved them from, what was it, Florida and Georgia?
Yeah, they took them all over and marched them over there. And they're like, guess what? You live here now.
Oh, well, with the Creek specifically, it was Florida. I believe it's Florida and Georgia. It's mentioned in the far too long Supreme Court decision.
Yeah,
and
well,
moved them Oklahoma.
They were like,
Damn.
here, enjoy your tornadoes.
They could have had like Miami, and instead they got Tulsa. On the plus side, that means that the Black Wall Street thing didn't happen in America.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right? That's a national shame. We'd be like, them fucking Indians, you see what they did? You know what made me laugh throughout this whole thing? They called them Indians over and over and over again. They didn't call them Native Americans. They called them Indians.
They are in the East Indies.
Indeed.
The West Indies. So, look, I'm just thinking that if they want to get mouthy about this whole thing and start doing a bunch of bullshit, I think that we are going to have to say that ICE is not going to deport any illegals out of Indian territory.
Yeah, probably not. Well, again, the feds might still be able to do it because the feds still have jurisdiction over some crimes.
No, we're just going to send all the illegals to them and be like, there you go. Enjoy.
I say we invade Canada and just put all the natives in Toronto. They don't want to live. No, don't make them go to cold places.
Nobody wants to live in Toronto. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We'll take over like the first, I don't know, 20% of Mexico, clean it out, get the cartels out of there, and give that to them. That could be some nice land for them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Ocean on each side so they can get some tourism going in. Lots of natural resources in between. It'd be awesome. If I wanted to live in Toronto, I would. These Indians could have been living right next to Florida Man. I know, right? Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that is Florida Man. Florida Man is the ghost of the folks from the Trail of Tears.
Yeah, it's some sort of curse leveled against us. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
That's what we get.
Well, nobody should have taken Florida. It should have been like, nah, we're good. You keep that.
I mean, for shipping, it made sense.
Yeah, but that was the Spanish, and they were all like, "Oh, we claim this, blah blah blah." That's a terrible idea. No, it's cool.
Quaidman says, my grandfather was born in Indian Territory in 1900. Which part? In Oklahoma? Because we pushed him out of everywhere else. You know, that whole thing that we did to the Indians was fucked up, but it was also a long time ago, and I don't care. If this is the treaties, and I mean, the way I read it, I think they got it absolutely wrong. But that's the law now, so that's their place. Good for them. I wasn't planning on going to Oklahoma any fucking way.
Yeah. Good luck, because there's going to be a lot of problems arise out of this, I think, that people aren't thinking about yet.
This means Trump's first rally after COVID was in Indian country. And then he went up to the Lakota area to give the one in front of the Mount fuck. The presidents carved into the wall.
Rushmore?
Rushmore, thank you. Motherfucker. My brain's going St. Helen. I'm like, it's not that. God damn it. My grandfather was a great man. I'm not doubting that. In Oklahoma, cool. There's a lot of people who were born in Indian Territory now.
Yeah. That's going to be a nightmare.
They weren't yesterday. And with this ruling, because there's a lot of people like, this is not going to affect much at all. I don't think y'all paid attention to that ruling, because they gave that land and all rights to it, including governance, to the Indians. And they're like, well, it's just when it's in a matter of the state trying to arrest somebody. Like, that's not what they talked about in that ruling.
No, it's not. No, this could change everything from how you get police protection, if you get it, to the way you pay taxes, to land ownership. A lot of stuff just got really butt rammed.
Yeah, the only thing that specifically is only about, the state was whether or not they could arrest somebody. That is true, and they are going to have to let a lot of Indians out of jail.
Yeah, remember the guy that this was all about raped a 4-year-old.
Yep.
So good job, good win there, in Indians. That's going to make you look real good with the locals.
Look, if they immediately arrest this guy and put him on trial, I get it. It's kind of like when the president or Congress sues, even though it might be a bill or something that they believe in, but it's like, you don't have the power to do this, and you're doing it on that basis, not on whether it was, whether it was a good intention or not. So I get that part of it. As long as he's arrested right now by them and been put on trial, I'm okay with it. Paul, thank you. I am behind on the stream, and screw commies. Yeah, fuck commies, man.
Damn right. But I don't have that much faith that they're going to do that. I mean, they're going to have to restructure a lot of stuff, and I think that this is going to get lost in the mire.
Well, yeah, the land distribution is the one that is like, holy shit. Because I don't know that you can, somebody who maybe lives like that, I don't know if you can charge somebody state taxes for when you live on reservation land.
And is the reservation going to start charging people back taxes that they now owe to the reservation?
I don't know.
There's a lot of questions here.
Yep.
Are they going to have like a non-tribal tax so you can live there because you're not part of the tribe? Are crimes against you going to be exempted somehow?
Only natives fall under the ruling. Doesn't apply to Whitey. No one, nowhere. When it comes to arresting them for crimes, only that counts. You're talking about them being given all the land back that Oklahoma thought belonged to them. Because this wasn't just that it was on the reservation. In this ruling, they go back to 1901 borders, which, like I said, gives them almost the entirety of Tulsa. Which is, what is it? It's like 1.8 million people now live on reservations that didn't yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're still living in the United States, because they specifically said, because Jack, there's this thing called apportionment.
Mhm.
And this was a ploy by the federal government to get the Indians to sell their land to white people, thinking that when the Indians sold it to white people, that it became part of the state. The Supreme Court decided that's not true. Because, and I used this example earlier, if you live in Texas and you buy land in Louisiana, it does not become part of Texas.
Yeah.
So that's what their thing is. The Indians might have sold the land to a white person, but it's still the Indians' land. It's still their country, their reservation. And that was what was decided. That's why half of Oklahoma now belongs to the Indians. And yeah, that is a big change that is going to affect people.
Yeah. So your property tax is probably going to change. What if they, decide to get really crazy with it? And does the EPA not exist in that part of Oklahoma anymore? It's not American land anymore.
Yeah.
So you could just go dump toxic waste wherever you want until they start passing laws.
Or until they arrest you for it.
Yeah. What are their prison conditions?
My people.
There might be an overpopulation problem going on now.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. And
then you have the situation where Americans are being held in a foreign jail without basic rights or humane conditions, which would be a violation of various other agreements. That could be considered, kind of a war crime sort of situation.
Liberals Get the Bullet too says, does Alaska still belong to Russia? This is because of actual agreements we made. So it depends on what agreements we made with Russia. No, it's not like all land has to go back to people. This isn't them being just activist. This is them reading a strict version of the original, I believe it's 1901 agreement with the Indians. Because in that agreement, the United States promised that was the Indians' land until they no longer occupied it. And the apportionment thing was to say, okay, you no longer occupy this part of the land. It's ours now. And what the Supreme Court decided is no. That land being sold didn't change ownership from the reservation to the United States. Yeah. So I get all the people running around going, it doesn't affect white people. Yes, it absolutely does. How it affects them is up in the air. It's mostly going to be taxes and land that become an issue. Because this doesn't invalidate a white person who owns the land in there. So like if you own 20 acres in there, it's not like you no longer own it. It's just that instead of owning property in Oklahoma, you now own it on the Creek Reservation. So where you pay property taxes, instead of going to the county, it'll go to the creeks.
Well, until the creeks decide, they get some radicals in there that are putting a bug in their ear saying you should get revenge and start eminent domaining it from the whiteys or something. I don't think this is going to end badly.
It's still under federal jurisdiction. It's about the creation of the state, Treaty 1886. No, it's not. Did you read the decision? That's the first question I have for you, because if you didn't read the decision and you read somebody else read it, don't come here telling me what it says. I read the fucking thing. And this is about almost exclusively the 1901 treaty with the Indians. There is a lot of talk about the treaty of 1906, but not as much as 1901. And in all of them, because the 1906 one I think is the allotment one, in all of them, they are talking about this is still Indian land. And if you don't think how you pay property tax is going to change when this is no longer state land, you're wrong. You're just wrong. So SCOTUS, instead of using the definition that was known to everyone, changed what it meant. That's kind of what the dissent said. That's what Roberts, man, he was pissed. You can read it in his words, man. He was not fucking happy. He's like, you guys are changing everything. What the fuck are you talking about? That might as well have been what he wrote. But yeah, this is can we pay 1901 prices? No, sorry. What about congressional representation and voting rights? Well, these are the kind of questions that this decision brings up. Because, yeah, they are no longer part of Oklahoma. That's just fact. Reservations are allowed to run themselves. Are Indians allowed to vote in our elections? I can't remember.
Don't remember.
I think they are. So, I mean, it's probably, it wouldn't change that.
Oh, are you allowed to beat your wife now? Because, I mean, apparently raping kids is on the table again.
Depends on what the Creek. I mean, the Creeks get to set up their own. They have their own government. Huh? Yeah, so they have their own government. They have their own. It's an elected government with a chief, a second chief, and an assembly. It's not that I know the Creeks that well. This is all mentioned in the lawsuit or in the decision. They also talk a lot about 1920. Because apparently in 1920, that's when the government decided to back off trying to fuck the Indians so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like the whole allotment thing, they kind of just dropped it where it was. It's amazing Indians still do this, let alone have land. Usually cultures that grind on each other like that destroy the one. Indians are U.S. citizens. Are they? I honest to God don't know. I don't know how that part of it works. I don't know how it's going to work with any kind of voting because I don't know. I have no idea how that stuff is. The one for me that's weird is taxes. Taxes are going to change. It's going to be weird how these cities are like, we're no longer part of Oklahoma because they're not. Natives have their own passports. Well, there you go. The Indians are still apparently under federal law. In a way. Now, this is a weird part of it. The United States Congress at any time, literally at any time, can go, that reservation doesn't exist anymore. They won't do it, but they can.
Oh, yeah, there's no political will for that right now. Unless these guys get really activist and do something stupid like kill a few people, that's not going to happen. Even then, I doubt that.
Congress could come in and go, look, up until yesterday's decision, this part was thought to be U.S. territory. There's been no dispute over that. We're going to go with that boundary. But they're not going to. There's no way they're going to. What is this backwards world? It is a really, 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 really strict reading of the original treaty. Thank you, Paul, who says the only good commie is one with glassy eyes. You got to be careful because that could mean they just don't have eyeballs, and they're. I know what you're going for, but you got to be careful. Thank you for the donation, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap up because it's 2 hours and 2:30 by now. Jack, it was just 2 hours. I thought we'd only gone like 5 minutes. My bad.
Yeah, whatever.
This ruling, it's one of the ones that I read and it's like, what the hell just happened here? And I could talk about it forever, but the very short term is a whole lot of rapists and murderers and even lower level criminals who were members of the tribe at the time. If they committed that crime on what is considered tribal land, they are getting out of jail. And so ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Thank you for the donations. Jack, is there anything you'd like to shill?
I'll throw a link to my latest video in the chat. And as always, thank you for the donations. You guys are amazing.
Tonight we'll be on Scribe Light's channel, 9 p.m. Eastern time for Lords of the Night. I will game probably at some point. Remember, guys, gaming is my one that I don't necessarily always do, but I enjoy doing it. I got lots of sleep yesterday afternoon, so we'll see what happens. Keep an eye out on Twitter. All of our links are below. Make sure you follow and subscribe to any that you're not. And consider picking up a nice shirt for yourself. Thank you so much for watching. Jack, thank you so much for joining.
Always a
Everyone,
pleasure.
have a wonderful night. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I hate when I get the burps at the end of the show.